What's up, guys? Who needs Meta here with my buddy Amr, who just got second place in Detroit here for RRC for the Edison Day 1 event. And you played something a little different. And different for Meta, not different for you.
Yeah.
You played Diva Hero.
Yeah. Diva Hero, a little bit of spice.
Was it because of the familiarity with the deck? You're like, you didn't feel like picking something else up, or you just like, I just feel comfortable with this. I'm just gonna play what I know.
It's the deck I enjoy playing the most in Edison.
Okay.
So if I'm ever gonna go or compete in a tournament, it's probably gonna be with this.
Okay.
All right.
Play what you love. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Let me see the list.
All right.
How different is it from the Worlds from Worlds for Worlds? We did the deck profile.
It's pretty different.
Pretty different from Worlds? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Because so if you've seen the deck profile from a couple of years ago from his Worlds top, we're going to be a little different.
Yeah, I mean, some of the basic engine ratios for the most part are going to be the same, so you still play the 5 heroes. I played Greffer and Plague, and then...
Just the one Greffer?
No, so there was a point at which I did only play the Greffer and Plague, and then I found a way to include Sangan, and then in this most recent iteration, I play Arma now.
Okay. So it's 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
With this version of the deck, because I play Spy, you're often your first, like, and if you had to rank your priority in what monsters you want to summon first in like a given hand, usually if you draw a hand with Spy, you want to set the Spy. So
going first.
Going first.
Okay.
Example.
Okay.
Or even like going second.
Like even if you know what you're like, if you don't know what you're playing, it's like it's blind.
Right. Exactly.
Is there ever a matchup where like you know what you're playing against and you pick something else?
Yeah. I mean, like if I know I'm playing against GB, I'm not gonna set Spy.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, and because of that, it's awkward. It's a little awkward then to draw hands of like Sangan and Spy, where you choose to set the Spy because it'll get you more value, and it's not as punished by a lot of threats. And so it's not that Sangan is slow per se, it's more just that you're adding more layers, or not layers, like, how do I put it?
Punishes?
No, it's like
it's extra steps.
Exactly, there we go.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
To get to your engine. And so like Arma can still get you to part of your engine, and also like I think the reason to play it, and I think most Diva Hero should play the Arma, is because it gives you a lot more permutations where if you have Malicious in hand and you have Plague access, you can still unbrick the Malicious by sending the second one with Arma. So
and then stack, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of games where I would have like Mally Arma Plague or something like this in a Minecon or something, or I would have Rhoda to do the same deal, and being able to like do a double synchro, get full value out of the Plague by being able to like normal summon it, make a synchro, and then still do the Plague stack Mally thing was extremely effective.
Okay.
At least in testing. And then I play
the Diva part of the Diva Hero.
I think if you want to play Fifth Water, I think Sunny has made a really compelling argument that it should be the Gilman, right?
The second one?
The second Gilman.
Because you were like cooking with Android like all day.
Yeah. And I don't think Android's that great. It's just there are sometimes in certain matchups or certain positions where, for example, if I know my opponent's on Vayu and I'm drawing a hand of like multiple Divas, my typical play style is to like, I want to try to like get more value of the Diva as a combo piece, but you also have to like also recognize that you are risking getting decked out for your life. So
yeah.
You make the level 5, but being able to send the Gil, like the theory behind the second Gilman is like being able to send one of the two off of Future Fusion and still maximize.
You still have the full engine where you can go one with the Mally and then one with the other Gilman.
Exactly.
Yeah. You do 5 and 8.
Exactly. But I mean, for me, these 4 in Future Fusion are for me sufficient enough most of the time.
Because you can just go Mally or Mally Diva and you're fine.
Yeah. And like as far as like water count goes, like I just don't want to live in a world where I ever draw 2 Gilman. And I've tried Treeborn intermittently, and
That's like an OG. That's like a 2019 tag.
yeah, and I'm never personally impressed by it. So I would rather just play the waters I need and not try to go beyond that for the sake of like
Yeah.
I don't know, improving the ratios in which I already draw Fufu or something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to feel like it's like a win more thing. It's like, what if they out the Future Fusion? It's like you've already set up.
Yeah, like
your miracles are live. Then you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I do see the appeal of even like being able to play a second catastrophe.
Yes, they just to be able to make more 5s.
Yeah. And then I guess the thing that
That you're
separates-
known for. That
Yes.
seems to be you're the only one who gets it.
Yeah, my round 8 opponent, this was on the bubble, I think, and he goes, I Minecon his Raikou and like pop something with it, and I milled the Descendant. And he later throughout the match, he's talking to his friends who were like sitting right by me and watching us. He goes, as soon as I saw that Descendant, I knew it was ShamWow. I was like,
He has a calling card.
yeah. Oh my God, there's
So
like
talk about it because you said you're like I have a dissertation about Spy.
I have a dissertation about Spy. No, so I think fundamentally what Diva Hero is, like, how do I put this? So, even if you don't agree exactly on what the labels mean, or where exactly on the spectrum a lot of the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh fall, especially because
You mean like mid-range, aggro, control? Okay.
Combo, control, correct. Because like a lot of those terms are lifted from Magic, and they are fundamentally different games. Whatever terminology you like to use, or whatever understanding you like to have, I think where Diva Hero falls or leans is as a combo deck. You are conceding individual card quality, unlike a deck like Hero Beat or Blackwing or GB.
Where like card economy doesn't mean as much to you as like the board state.
Quite the opposite.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
Instead of, you're not relying on the individual quality of each of your cards, you are inherently
Relying
like,
how they interact with each other.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
You're relying
okay,
on
okay.
combinations to
I'm
give
picking up.
yourself like a higher ceiling, and so
I'm getting the education. This is the dissertation. All right.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
getting a
the
PhD in spyology.
it's biology. So like, and you play a lot of 2-card combinations in this deck, or in a lot of payoff cards. Like you'll see later, like you have the Caiuses, you have the Divas, and if you just try to ride, I feel like it's a little too fair if you try to ride off of the back of a Diva off of like making level 5s alone, or like just trying to like Prodigy Caius people, right? It's not, when you're playing, what am I trying to say? You play the Maliciouses, you play the Prodigies, you play the Dark Monsters, you play the Dark Iron, because the combinations of all those cards produce a higher net result and higher value than if you were just trying to play like a simple 1-for-1 game where like, oh, I have my vanilla that
Is big. It has a big butt, and I summon a
and I
guy that can
attack
pop some
with it.
guys.
Yeah. So, why is that relevant to Spy? It's because like, Spy is non-engine. It's truly just a defensive card, but it still advances your game state. So, in any situation where I have 2 level 4s on board and they're dark, it helps make Dark Armed alive. It acts as conversion for a Diva in hand. So now instead of just a level 5 synchro, you get to do
2 6s. I was gonna say because like when you were talking about the 5s and 8s, I was like 6s are like the broken level in this format.
Oh, absolutely.
And this gives you access to both of the best synchros the format has.
Right. There have been a lot of times where I've killed people just because I resolved the Spy, and then I have like Diva, a Hero in hand, a Miracle, or like a Dark in hand, I have Dark Armed, or something to that effect, where like just because it enables your payoffs. And same thing goes for like Caius as well, which I have not shown yet. But
I mean, yeah, this is a Caius, and we know the deck plays it. It's,
yeah. So, and then really like, I think the reason I'm talking so much about like what is a combo deck and why Diva Hero leans into that is because I think and this is like Patrick Hoban Road of the King type stuff, but the thing a combo deck I think values the most is having more cards, and not in terms of like card advantage, like the net difference between what you have and what I have. I just mean more cards in general, right? Like a lot of the OTKs in this deck are derived from like Diva, Mally, level 4, Miracle, or Greffer, Mally, Diva Miracle or some
Yeah.
that involves Dark Armed or something like that. So you just want more cards to be able to see those combinations, to see more of those combinations in order to be able to actually like do the combo thing and kill your opponent.
Yeah.
And Spy, like, as a card, generates so much value on its own as non-engine.
Because you need 2 cards, and if they wall into it, you have 2 cards.
You have 2 cards. And then just in terms of, like, its pure... even outside of, like, the synergy it has with your engine, just as, like, a non-engine card, it is flexible. It hits... Descendant allows you to hit monsters and back row.
I noted because like Spy, if they attack into it under oppression, you can still do it in a damage step, and you can still pop the oppression. You can actually play the game.
Yeah, I've been able to beat a lot of Blackwing players who know that when I set a monster, it's Spy, and they just cannot risk attacking into it because they will lose their floodgate or their oppression. And so it hits monster, like this package hits monsters and back row equally. It goes +1 into some of the most common traps of the format. There are a lot of moments where I will flip Spy, summon Descendant, purposely pass priority on the Descendant. So
just to like bait, bottomless, yeah.
And then I just Caius them anyway. And so I just went +1 into a bottomless when normally like a Caius in that kind of scenario would be like a 1-for-1 at best. Same thing goes for like Prison, same thing goes for flips, even like TT. And the thing is like Spy forces all of those things before you commit
like
the cards
the cards you care about, yeah.
So and so like it does the job you want out of non-engine very well, and it still advances your game state.
It keeps your opponent from playing their game, so they have to use their cards to play the game, so you can use your cards to win the game. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like
you don't want them to ick attack, Dad or whatever, like good cards, so you make them play through this and use their cards on this.
And a lot of Blackwing players today would, when they saw the Descendant come out and they knew what its Descendant did, they would be like, and they would ick attack like this. And
you're like, that's good. That's what they're supposed to do.
I'm happy with that trade. It's
that makes a lot of sense.
Again, it's a +1, right? Which not many monsters in this format can do into Icarus attack. And then
like that enhancer. And
that's about it. And not only that, I did that without ever having to like put my Diva down on the field or or give up the malicious. And so, just I don't know. I think it's very much worth playing, and it gives you a lot more options than just playing bottomlesses or deep prisons or what have you would. Because because it enables those payoff cards.
So the trap lineup shrinks to accommodate the room for this.
Yeah, but like these still are traps. So like I'm not really like, even if there are less purple cards in my particular version than the standard, like I'm still playing a lot of defense. It's just I'm playing more engine synergistic defense.
Yeah, so this is MST. This is extra copies of cards like that, or like Raigeki Breaker or whatever. You just treat them as if they were like removal, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing then, is that as long as your side plan is sound, and I'll explain that later, like in the matchups where these don't do very much or you don't want them in at all, you just take them out and bring in the dark monsters that do stuff for you. So
like sometimes those are just Wabaku. It's like, or T-Row or whatever, because like it ends a battle phase. It's like, okay.
But you would be surprised how well Spy, like how Blackwing cannot deal with a giant soldier of stone that summons another giant soldier of stone. I think the main
Hero Beat hates to see a giant soldier of stone coming.
Exactly. But I will say I did side the whole package out in a lot of my matchups today because, for example, against Vayu, I would bring in Kaiku and 2DD Crow and like some back row removal or something like that.
I did ask if there are matchups where you just left in like 2 Spy. And
I definitely used to do that in the past. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with the Spy.
No, you're good, yeah. I was just wondering if that was still something that happened.
Oh, I used to leave 2 in, and I think it's not bad. It's just 2 Spy alone without Descendant is also just not very good, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like sometimes the giant soldier of stone thing does work,
but if it does work, just leave the whole thing in. Because if it's working, leave the package in. If it's not working, take the package out.
And again, like the whole point of siding is that you take out the non-engine that is good, but is maybe not. You take out the broad non-engine for the non-engine that is specific to the matchup you're trying to beat. That really is like super
Silver bullet.
effective.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I got you.
So I'm more than happy to keep this, like play this in the main in game 1, keep it in the matchups where I like it, like Blackwing, and then against other decks like Vayu or Frog or like Lightsworn,
Gladiator Beast.
Gladiator Beast, yeah. Take these out for something else, because I have not given up any aspect of my engine. Like
To accommodate room for it, yeah.
exactly. Like
The whole Diva Hero package is still in the deck.
Yeah, I'm still playing a full Diva Hero package at the end of the day.
Okay.
I think the only other yap I have about Spy is like, I think the most common contention I see, and people are gonna probably bring up my finals match because I did get
You drew the Descendant.
I drew the Descendant and got decked out, and it was good. It was gonna cook, and then I got decked out for 5. But I think deck dev is like the biggest concern people have about Spy, but like I think it's very narrow and very ignorant to, not ignorant, but I don't want to be condescending. I just want to be emphatic, which is like, you should not think about building around deck dev solely in terms, like, or at least your starting analysis should not be on the number of targets you play, or in trying to reduce the number of targets you play. It's just not like, if that was the optimal approach, there's no way Eric Shen would get away with winning so many things with 2 hamster like in his deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got it.
Yeah, well, oh my god. I did write a dissertation on this in the Diva Hero channel a while ago, but it comes down to like 3 prongs. The first is like, how well do these cards perform when deck dev is not a factor? And so like, either deck dev does not resolve, it's not drawn, whatever.
Yeah.
And the answer is these cards perform, and you can apply this to like 2 hamster and value if you'd like, because I think the analysis was one that's important. It's not about Spy, it's about how you think about building around deck dev. How effective are these cards when deck dev is not a factor? And the answer is these cards are very effective.
They're good, yeah.
Second hamster is very good when deck dev is not a factor, and so on. And so on and so forth. Or the Frog deck is very effective.
Yeah.
When deck dev is not a factor. Right, whatever, or like, it's like, in that case it would be like Unifrog and like the Dupes and so on. The second thing you'd then have to think about is like, how is deck dev going to be used optimally against you? And then for this deck specifically, because you have a lot of extenders in the graveyard, your opponent, in an ideal world, your opponent will want to deck dev you once you've burned these up.
Burn the Mally.
Yeah, burn the Mally, burn the Plague, or you then slam the Diva on the field. And you risk Miracle by holding the deck dev there, but in that scenario, deck dev always blows you out. There's no coming back from that. You just have to have the answer, or you have to have the follow-up, or you just lose there.
That's fair.
And so like, trying to whittle down your opening hand numbers doesn't really matter if your opponent's holding deck dev against you anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you can't just focus on the number of targets.
Because is it the cards that you're replacing them in are just worse than the cards you already have anyways?
Yeah, and like, again, like, if your opponent's going to hold deck dev against you, you're going to draw into the targets anyway. Like, that's just like a fact of the...
They'll still be there.
They'll still be in your deck, and you will, just because it's a card game with variance, you will still draw hands that get blown out by a blind deck dev, and you can't let that influence your decision making about what cards you put in your deck. And then the last thing is like, how does your deck actually, when you get deck dev, how does your deck come back? And for me, or for this deck, it's
the spells,
Miracle, it's Dad, it's the Malicious and Plague if they happen to hit it, and things like that. Like, that's fundamentally how you come back. And it seems a bit, you can make it a bit simplistic and be like, deck dev is a sack card, and if they sack me, I just have to sack them back. But the reason you want to emphasize, or I emphasize, like, how does Diva Hero beat deck dev, or how does Diva Hero come back from beat deck dev, is, you need those bombs to be live.
Yeah.
So if you side out heroes post-side against deck dev decks, if you side out darks to the point where your dad is less consistent, or your miracles are not live as often as they should be, you're basically you are decreasing your chance to actually win if you do get deck dev. And Spy then is like, it's a whole suite of darks that you can effectively mill off of deck dev that can make a DAT live.
So you're telling all the Frog players to not side out their hero cards into deck dev matchups?
I think the point just stands that like if you are willing to play two hamster and if you're willing to like play Unifrog and so on, like your overriding concern should not be, oh, I have too many deck dev targets and or too little. It's about how do these like there's a lot more depth to be had with how you actually think about beating deck dev. And so for me, like a lot of people I think side out Prodigy against deck dev decks. A lot of Diva group players do this, and I think that's fundamentally incorrect because you need Miracle to be live and things like that.
You side them out against oppression decks, obviously.
Yeah, that's how that works. But that's how the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Floodgates has worked. No, but so I don't. For me, like the decision to side out the spy package is not because I'm concerned about the number of deck dev targets I have in my deck. And deck dev to me is like not a super. My engine can deal with deck dev, and these cards help me enable the bombs that allow me to overcome being deck dev. And so I'm not gonna. To me, it's not a very. The fact that they are deck dev targets is not for me like in itself a compelling reason not to run them.
I got you.
Sorry, that is the.
All right, we got 15 minutes on 4 cards. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's longer than most of my deck profiles.
Gaps about Spy, and then I think the last thing is just the payoff cards. I think 3 Caius and Diva Hero deck is probably ideal because you don't really have a high chance of drawing 2 if you play 3. It's just that Descendant is functionally your 3rd Caius.
Okay.
And so you don't really need to play the 3rd at that point.
That makes sense.
And Gores and Dad are good. I misplayed with Gores in the finals.
I don't think that was a misplay. I think that was correct. There's no way to know he was holding the unsearchable one of.
Yeah.
It do be like that sometimes.
And then the Patrick Hoban. So
37 cards?
37 cards. I am an Upstart enjoyer personally. Like, in a lot of decks I play across formats,
you have so many bombs. You just want to draw bombs. I get it.
Yeah. And like,
I get it.
I think when a lot of people think about consistency, they think about adding Arma, they think about adding Sangan, they think about adding Trooper, they think about adding E-Call. The thing is, like, when you look at the numbers, this package, I guess, raises your consistency baseline along the same number of margins that each of those individual cards would for you, without having the downside of having to run each of those individual cards, like E-Call and the only target being Stratos, or like Sangan, but it's a weenie that gets run over Shura, or Trooper, where again it gets run
over by Shura.
Things like that. And so, like, I think the only other slot, I think the other cards this competes against is like Gold Sark.
That's also a really old tech from back in the day.
It's still played, and I think Gold Sark has its merits, but Upstart is always like it's something you can use at any point in the game, I guess with the exception of deck dev. But like if you're getting deck dev and you're hoping you can Gold Sark in 2 turns, like I don't know.
You're not making it 2 turns, yeah.
I don't, unless you have Gores, then hey, you're that guy. But like at all points of the game, like the Upstart, you can use the Upstart to gain consistency, and what you draw off the Upstart will often change your play in a way where you get more value out of your cards. I think I actually missequenced in game 1 of the finals by going Stratos for Prodigy and then Upstarting instead of just Upstarting first, because as you'll see later, I have deck dev in the main, so like I had double Diva in hand, Stratos, and I think a Mally or something. And if I had Upstarted into the deck dev, instead of going for Stratos there and getting Goyoed in the process, I think I might have gone Diva for Catastor and deck dev. Things like that. So like,
because he was joking about it because you had done it before and you made the Android earlier.
So I played Kevin in Swiss. The person I played finals, he also destroyed me in Swiss. In game 1, I went first Diva Catastor deck dev, but so he got a little scared when I did starting to do the same thing. But I think Upstart is like, as far as consistency goes, it's probably the best consistency card to play because it is the most consistent consistency card. I think the only other thing that bothers people is like the 1,000 point life gain, and honestly in all the games I've had with this deck where I've been playing Upstart in the main, it has not mattered that much at all. Not only because of Spy Poke, which was Spy Pokes with the Descendant, which was my original like hypothesis, I guess, but even when I played Armageddon Knight, Necro Gardener, and no Spy package, and I played 3 Upstart, you get in a lot of pokes as Diva Hero. The hands where you truly OTK are very infrequent. Where like again, it's like 4-card combos, and if you don't draw those, you're not going to kill the opponent in one turn, and you settle for the chip damage so that you can kill them over time with like repeat Miracle Fusions or Dark Arms or Ab Zero. And even if you upstart into that combo, it's not necessarily like you've just gotten more ceiling. You saw more engine.
You saw it a turn sooner than you would have. Yeah.
So if you have that Greffer and Mat, like Diva Miracle, like hey, you drew one of those things now because of upstart, and so like you don't get a kill in this turn, but it's not like it's a bad thing that you have that combo now. You know what I mean?
You said you need 2 cards to do most of the things.
You need 2 cards to do most of the things, and most of your OTKs are like 3 or 4 cards. So
yeah.
And I think there's only one ladder match, I think, where the 1,000 life point gain, even when my opponents go to like 9 or 10,000, or I resolve all 3 upstart in the game, it's very, very rarely mattered. And so I think ultimately it's worth playing and worth trying. You should play 3 of this.
Yeah.
I think some people were talking about playing 2, and like there's no point in playing.
No, that's the best card in the deck, outside of Dark Arm.
Yeah, in top 4, like my opponent dust shooted me, and I was bricked on these for a while, but eventually what happened was I drew into the 3rd one that he didn't. He deck dev'd me, and he knew about these. That's right. I eventually deck dev wore off. It resolved, and then I drew the 3rd Miracle. He had dust shooted me and known about the first 2, and had deck dev'd me, which is crazy. But so he allowed the first Miracle to go through, and I think he misplayed because he bottomless my Ab Zero and I chained TT, and he had the Solemn there, but I TT'd because I needed the other
one in graveyard
for the 2nd Miracle Fusion, but he allowed the TT. So I activate 2nd Miracle, he Solemns that, halves all the life points I gave him off of Upstart. That's the other thing, like Solemn kind of negates the game from Upstart. And then I was like, okay, 3rd Miracle. So you should play 3, even if you somehow burn through all 3, like with this, it's still
because you don't play any of the Earth.
No,
Gaia.
I don't play Gaia. If you play Trooper, even if I play Trooper, I probably still would not play Gaia because Gaia's
extra deck's kind of tight.
Yeah, and it's just not that great in my opinion. I would probably consider Mistworm for that. And then one of
Heavy or Rhoda Brain Minecon?
Correct. I don't main MST. The other aspect of Diva Hero being a combo deck, in my opinion, and this is kind of like Spy kind of falls into this conversation because Spy kind of fulfills the role of MST, but really more broadly speaking in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, the bigger decks, the higher ceiling decks, and typically the combo decks will usually rely on their engine to remove threats. And Diva Hero has a lot of in-engine removal. You have Ab Zero, which trades as a +1. You have Caius, which can force most back row. And then if you play Spy, you can
Descendant.
Descendant. Dark Arm, same deal. You use your engine to deal with most threats in the back row. I care a lot about having more cards and accumulating more cards. And so I only want to simplify the game state and make a lot of 1-for-1 trades if I absolutely have to, which is where you make that concession in the side deck because Royal Oppression.
Yeah, you get floodgates. Yeah.
And I think most people understand that Yu-Gi-Oh concept. It's just not as broadly applied, I think, in Edison because MST is such a staple format and there's only so many good options for back row removal. But I have plenty of alternatives that kind of fulfill the role of MST and usually at a trade or a value that is better than a 1-for-1.
Okay.
With a Spy going plus and so on. And then even at the very worst, Wing Blast still does a great job. So
yeah, you did mention that you were on that.
So I don't think you need to main MST in Diva Hero specifically, unless you don't play discard traps and you play the bottomless and deepers and you want to play the 1-for-1 game. All right. So speaking of Wing Blast, I'm just a Wing Blast.
Just 2?
Just 2.
Okay.
3 is a little because you have Greffer Rhoda.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need more than 2, but resolving 2 is often game winning. I know James Ark originally played 3. Diva here doesn't generate enough hand advantage to consistently Wing Blast at that rate of like, oh, I got a free card, so I'll just pitch it for Wing Blast. But again, because you're playing a deck that relies on a lot of 2-card combos, you're gonna have cards that have like, you're gonna have hands that have a low overall card quality, and being able to convert a dead card into a spin is still very, very good. You can play Gravekeeper if you'd like, but I just think the tempo of like knowing your opponent has a slow hand and stacking them a turn and then pressing that advantage is still like so good, especially in this deck that has a lot of burst potential. And then the sweepers,
I
mean, they are just good.
Not answer much.
Yeah, no,
it's
stable shots.
Deck this due by 8-5. Round 1 begins.
You should play Solemn in this deck, I feel.
I like copy down.
Because you just want to get your engine going or whatever.
And you don't need to side it out against birds. I think like it's a high.
You just trade it with Ick. It feels like so good to trade with Icarus.
Yeah, like
I just don't like it against Vayu. That's really like.
And as the even then I still keep it in because like as the combo deck, you're trying to accumulate cards, you're trying to accumulate resources, and so you're willing to take damage to do that and then achieve that game state where you can checkmate your opponent and win once you have enough cards to do the Diva hero thing, right? And so like.
And it literally checks almost everything in the format, so
yeah.
I get it.
You have to be willing to play at those low life point totals in order to secure the win. I think against Kevin, I woo in our game 1. I thought I was losing, but eventually like I came back at 1300, which was incredible. And that's the line you ride by playing this deck. And then the last card I played was Deck Dev. So I think when we did this last deck profile at the Ulti Kai's tournament, I did have this card in the main, except it was a rare and does not look as pretty as the super. Shout out Eric Dehan Choi. But it's just an auto. I think the best way to put it is just it's an auto win. I think my initial reservations with it came from like the fact that you do give up the Diva, and so you're kind of giving up the combo piece, or you have to give up you're giving up the Kai. Well, not giving up the Kai, so that's probably the best target for that deck dev. But like, you're giving up the Dark End to make it work and things like that. But
or like Gores or
yeah. But like, just being able to like see your like, just it is an auto. Simply put, it is an auto win, and especially against the more uninteractive decks like Forgs, Lightsworn, or just even Hero Frog. It's very nice to have this card that, one, lets you interact with them, and two, does so and reaps massive like dividends for doing so. It's just,
you talk about trades when you can go 2 for 5 or whatever, 2 for 4,
and just knowing what the Hero Frog player has to see like how
much the knowledge.
So like,
are you saying that Deck Dev is a skill-based card because of the knowledge?
No, I'm saying the reward you get from it is worth giving up the Diva for Catastrophe.
It's 1 in the morning. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I feel like I've been yapping for an extended period of time. We'll do actually
33 minutes, but who's counting?
Hell yeah. This is going to be the longest deck profile on your channel. I apologize.
Cadigan's first Dark Calling deck profile took 50 minutes.
Oh my god.
So
okay,
no, you're good.
I side Cyber Dragon, so I still play Chimera Tech. You don't really have to play it if you respect them. If you don't really respect the Machina matchup. I really made side the Sidra for GB, so you can always take this out, but it comes up like sometimes they have a trooper.
I was gonna say you could come match like a card trooper or like a Catastrophe or something.
Yeah, Army Arm Catastrophe. These are standard.
How much life points did you gain off this android? Every time I saw it, it looked like you were over 8 every time.
Oh my god. In that same finals against I think his name was Justin Singh, or not finals. Top 4.
Top 8.
Top 8. Oh my god. Top 4 was against 4. You're right. I'm sorry. I can't do that to my boy. That's not right. In that top 8 match, I went to like 10,000 life points by sitting on this android because I was like respecting prison, and and he just did not have an out because his arm was too small. And so it did its job. It let me stall to buy time to like find again my engine in order to like play through all his back row, and then that culminated in it was like the longest game one I played that day. It was also it's insane that match I won that match 2-0 because of how long that game one was. But that's what culminated in that triple miracle play I described earlier. And then this Brio, I won this in a St. Louis tournament, and so I'm making. I don't normally play max rate or anything like that. My joke, or with the exception of Mythic Rulers, my self-imposed rules, like I try not to spend more than like around $20 on an individual card. But
unless you win it.
So this is like my slowly becoming gonna be like a series of medals.
Okay.
That I earned in combat, i.e. dueling.
No, this is war. Did you ever make Tempest?
Not today, but it's a nice way to like not have to make it's a good way to discard Mally without having to make Brio, and then it sometimes it enables a lot of kills through gold.
Yeah, that's the main reason. Yeah, it's the burn.
Yeah, and then this is the Black Rose I got
today
for getting second.
It's pretty sweet.
It's a very beautiful looking Black Rose. Yeah, the amount of times you can Prodigy, like...
I saw it happen, Prodigy, Diva, into Gilman, being blown.
Yeah.
People just don't respect it.
Yeah. I think they forget that it can happen, and that I can Miracle Fusion after. And then I play these level 8s. If you wanted to play Mistworm or RDA, the Chimera Tech slot would probably come out for that, but... I don't know. This extra deck is pretty tight for me.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sold on my
on the 15
I play.
Cool.
All right, we're making progress in terms of efficiency.
Our cards per minute is going up.
I know our cards per minute is fast and crazy. Sorry, let me put this all in the right order. Oh my God, what have I done?
This guy shuffled his side deck? Who shuffles their side deck?
No, I think it's because I did not reverse stack them. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay, you're fine.
So I mentioned this I think earlier in the day, but to me this is still the best anti-aggro card, because not only do you clear the monster, but you stop them from advancing their own game plan, and it can generate more pluses for you. That being said, GB players are getting wiser in siding in Cyber Dragon so that they can contact with Prisma, so it may not be the best choice, but I still just can't really think of anything better. Smashing Ground I think has some coverage in other matchups, but Cyber Dragon is just the
GB players stole our Dark Calling tech of using Prisma on Cyber Dragon.
The only reason I was able to win Game 2 against GB in top 16 was I had drawn both Cyber Dragon. He cleared the first one, and then I Dust Tornadoed him, Wing Blasted his last back row, summoned the second one, cleared, and started clearing his monsters, and he just could not keep up, and so Cydra just has the ability to snowball in those.
And you're talking about the Wing Blast with the tempo. It's kind of where it comes up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because now they have to draw a trap into an established Sidra, and if that trap is not deeper, then they're in for a bad time. I think you still have to play Crow. It's in this deck. It's a concession to value, and it's also a concession to combo decks.
The non-interactive forks. You need something for the Fish Fork or the Avarice or whatever.
And then I played Vanity's Fiend, but what I want to emphasize is that this was if I side out the Spy package in a given matchup.
You had 3 darks that you pretty much auto went in.
Really, you have any combination of these darks that you bring in, so that your dark ratio is not, or your dark counts are not meaningfully affected at all. You still have good dark armed fodder, good allure fodder.
Okay.
So if it was value, it would be like this. If it was frog, it would be like this. If it was forks, I didn't play against forks today, but it would probably be some combination of this. So you don't. Even if it seems crazy to side out the whole Spy package, even though I'm the Spy guy, and why are you siding it out? It just works. And Haiku was pretty effective.
I like that card a lot.
I think the matchup I just neglected to mention was against GB, it's just a good beater.
Just because it's a BC.
Yeah, if I can't set my spies because the GBs are gonna eat them for breakfast, then I might as well just summon blank.
It's an 1800 vanilla, but you're just like,
vanilla,
it gets there.
2400 vanilla that doesn't let them Prisma Tiger. That's fine. I'll
They
take
can't
that.
War Chariot V Fiend?
Exactly. I'm still not entirely sold on that logic, but that's what I went with.
Huh?
And
You summon Kai's, they just Chariot you. You summon that, what are they gonna do?
yeah,
It's like that could be Summon Skull.
I should play Summon Skull instead of Annie's Fiend in Diva Hero. This is more, again, a concession to like the Christia decks. I also brought this in against Frogs because of Vanity's Fiend, but like the Christia decks or the decks that can go really wide. I think Ab-Zero is like Lightning Vortex on steroids if you can get to Ab-Zero. But if you're like under Christia, and I did play against Christia more today, that's like it's just really hard. So
have you thought about like Book of Moon or something like that, or is it just like this deals with the do block too? And
yeah, it just has more coverage, I think.
That makes sense.
I did think about Book of Moon for a while though, because again against GBs, like it's a trap you can use under trap stun. But I think
in Decree and yeah. Well, you're not getting Decreed though.
Yeah.
Gotta hope not.
It's just I feel like Book of Moon is a little. I don't agree with Alex Chan on Book of Moon being a bad card, but I think it's a little too optimistic. And the point of having the side deck is that you want the hard removal or the silver bullets, and you don't want to assume that you're going to be able to attack over the monster you booked. And then the backer removal. Again, this is just a concession you make because in order to post side against birds, you need to be able to play the game to beat them. So that's when you put these 1-for-1 removal cards in, and that's when they actually gain a lot of value for you.
Yeah, if you hit Whirlwind, you're moving a lot more than one. It's not a 1-for-1. It is in spirit, but or technicality, but not in spirit.
Right. Man, I'm trying to resist the urge to like really start quoting pack control and be like, MSC is a bad card. Like it's fine, but I didn't miss it in the main. And then 2 prison. So I should probably just talk about the lack of bottomless in the 55 here, or the 70, I should say. Again, I'm trying to accumulate more cards, and I'm trying to rely on my engine to remove most threats, which this engine does pretty well. And so, I think I already gave the example of if you compare like a Caius bottomless Diva hand to a Spy Diva Caius hand. The Spy does a lot more for you in that situation because it's synergized with your engine. But like on the order of like, I think you do have to play some amount of 1-for-1 removal in the matchups like Blackwing and GB, because like you need to be able to survive and answer their threats in order to still be able to accumulate enough cards to play the game. Kind of like you need a card that will just get rid of the thing so that you can continue stalling for time. And so
he's not stalling for time.
No, not in that. In terms of like seeing more draw phases. Sorry,
I get it.
I tried to play as efficiently as I could. I was so sad that my match against Kevin went to time, or like was affected by time. But on the order of this kind of 1-for-1 removal, Prison is better you can draw it into an established board. You can choose when to use it, and you're not pressured into setting it like you are with Bottomless because Bottomless only has a narrow window of opportunity where you can use it, so you kind of have to set it and then concede to like Icarus attack or someone baiting it. Especially better as players get better, like they're gonna play around Bottomless better. Prison doesn't have any of those like caveats, so it's not that I think Bottomless is a bad card. It's more that
D-Prison's a better card.
D-Prison's a better card.
Wider card, would you say?
Wider card, yeah. And in Diva Hero specifically, like as a deck, 1-for-1 removal is not really simplifying the game state with 1-for-1 removal is not really where you want to be. You play the 1-for-1 removal because you have to. In those situations, and then the corner cases. I think Marcus Stadion also mentioned this in his hybrid Blackwing deck profile. But the corner cases where Bottomless is truly the superior card is like the bombs, like Dark Arm, JD, and things like that. Where at that point, you just have to hope you have the engine capacity to beat it, and if you don't, then, you know, that's just the game. So it's not that I think bottomless is bad and you should not play bottomless in your deck. It's more that because of how Diva Hero is as a deck, and because you have better, more flexible one-for-one removal options as you need it, bottomless kind of just misses the cut, if that makes sense. So Imprison and then I played 2 Rogue for Frogs, and then Mind Crush for the combo decks. And that is the deck profile.
You did it. I don't know if you beat Cat again. We'll have to compare times. But any shout-outs?
Yeah, so shout out to my wife, Samantha.
Always.
She encouraged me to do this, and even though she doesn't quite understand the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, she believes in me, and I can't thank her enough for that. Shout out to St. Louis. So I started
314.
Hell yeah. I started out as an online player in the summer of 2021, going into 2022, and I had been playing Edison a lot online, and then the 3rd or 4th year in to my training, like for my career, and like I was like, I'm gonna start buying cards and playing in real life. And so I went to Collector Store, I went to Yeti Gaming, and I met all of these lovely folks beside me. Shout out to Chris, who I'm staying with, who was very kind enough to share a room with me. Like, they didn't know who I was as an online person. I just showed up as like a little awkward dude who like sacked people with value, and then over time they just before the name ShamWow, they attached the name ShamWow to me. I was just Amr.
So that was because someone said, hey, you know, because we had talked on Discord before, and they're like, hey, he lives here now. I was like, oh, he just like lives here, and we just started talking to locals. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my ass waxed. Let's do this.
So, I don't know. There's just something. There's something like, I guess, fundamental about that in human existence, where I just feel like I owe St. Louis that. Like, they knew me as like a person, in addition to being a duelist, before they knew like the alias that I had.
Yeah.
Shout out though, nonetheless, to the Chicago guys, particularly Kevin Wu, for being so welcoming and encouraging and supportive. Shout out to Eric Chen, Eric Chai, Marcus Hayden. Shout out to David Jimenez, who has also been someone who's shown their belief in me, and I appreciate dearly for that. Shout out to them for welcoming me after I made the move to Chicago. Shout out again to Retro Reborn for hosting all of this. It's still incredible that I got here. This is my first like in-person major event. I've only really played at the Chicago Monthlies as like the in-person tournament.
The guy crawls out of his house, gets second place first try, whatever. It's like, oh, I don't really do this often, guys.
Deck. Shout out to Gravekeeper Spy.
Spy for president.
And I should. Anytime I do a deck profile with this deck, I hope to, and I feel I should always give a shout out to Televisual. He's too nice. He cracked the code, I feel like, for this deck, and I've been running with it since, and I do owe him that for inspiring me to pick up Diva Hero, keep going at it. So
you're the last keeper of the Diva.
Yes, I stand on the shoulders of giants in terms of, and spies. In terms of Diva Hero.
Giant orcs.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.